Hello, church family, and today we are in Joshua chapter 2. I love how this narrative is just dropped into the history of the Hebrew nation. I love what we get to learn in this chapter, what we've read this morning. We know that Joshua and the nation of Israel are about to overthrow this region. We know that they're about to start their conquest against the city of Jericho. We see in verse 1 that we're going to be introduced to someone very special. In verse 1, as the spies are going into the town, it says, "Go view the land, especially Jericho. And they went and came into the house of a prostitute whose name was Rahab, and lodged there." So we see that the spies, the ones that represent the nation of Israel, their lives come in contact with a woman named Rahab. And we see that this woman, the description that we're given of her is that she's a prostitute. She's caught up in sin. She's caught up in this sinful culture in Jericho. And what we see is pretty special because she chooses to help the spies. Of course, we read on and it tells us that she hides them up on the roof. We know that she has an encounter with some people looking for them at her door and is able to lead them in a different direction, not to search the house or anything like that. She's able to lead them on and get them out of there. So she helps the spies. She helps these people. And we see why she chooses to do this. She does this because of what she's already heard. And we see this in verse 10. It says in verse 10, "For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea before you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to the two kings of Amorite who were beyond the Jordan." She was like, "Hey, I've heard about what your God has done for your people. I've heard the stories of the provision that He's given you. He's dried up water for you to cross to flee from the nation of Egypt. I've heard about this power and this God that is behind your people." And here's the thing. She says, not only have I heard that, but also the people in this city have heard. It says in verse 11, "As soon as we heard it, our hearts melted, and there was no spirit left in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, He is God of the heavens above and on the earth beneath." So she says, when we've heard about these stories and what you've been able to do, our hearts melted. We knew that our doom was soon. So we see that she helps because of what she's heard. But also in this passage, we see that she has a glimpse or an understanding, or maybe her life is just at rock bottom. But she sees an opportunity that maybe this God can help her family. This is what she asked the spies in verse 12. She says, "Now then, please swear to me by the Lord that as I have dealt kindly with you, you also deal kindly with my father's house. And give me a sure sign that I will say that you will save alive my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, and all that belong to them, and deliver our lives from death." And when the men said to her, "Our life for yours, even to death, if you do not tell of this business of ours." And when the Lord gives us this land, I love the confidence. When the Lord gives us this land, we will deal kindly and faithfully with you. And so and of course, we know that she helps them escape. She gives them more advice about when they're back in the land. And we know that the spies give her a plan. "Hey, put the scarlet thread out your window and your family will be spared. We will deal kindly with you. The Lord will save you." And in Joshua chapter 6, I know I'm skipping on, but in Joshua chapter 6, we're told that this happens once the city is taken. She and her family is spared. But her story doesn't stop there. She's mentioned again in Matthew chapter 1, which is the genealogy of Jesus. Her story in her life, being a prostitute, is used here. And then later on, she's giving another description, another title, which is such a worthy title on this earth. She is described to us as a mother, and she's a mother of Boaz. She's mentioned in the genealogy of Jesus. Boaz being the Old Testament picture of Jesus for the Father's love for the world. He's known as the kinsman redeemer. God is known as the kinsman redeemer. His life and his example towards Ruth shows us that picture. She is his mother. It's pretty remarkable how God chooses to use this desperate woman, this woman in a life of sin. And not only just her story doesn't end there in just helping the spies. Her story is shared throughout generations. She gets to be part of a narrative, part of a genealogy that doesn't just save the nation of Israel like she helped here, but she gets to be part of a genealogy of Jesus that saves all of mankind. Pretty remarkable. And that's my encouragement to you. No matter what you've done or what you've gotten caught up in, maybe it may be just today. Maybe you said something to your spouse. Maybe you said something to your kids. Maybe you've had a bad attitude at work. I don't know what it is, but it's never too late to choose God. We've seen through Jesus what he does for us, the provision that he gives to our lives. That's my encouragement. Choose God today. Choose the Father's love. It's awesome. It's great. It's a great place to be. And so please tune in again tomorrow. We love you and thank you so much for listening. All right, bye.